So let's do some inheritance in Java. I'm going to assume that you know what a class is and how to create one yourself. But we're going to start out by making an Apple class. So it's going to be apple.java. And what does an apple have? An apple has a type. So we're just going to have an integer representing the type or number. And 0 will represent a Macintosh apple. 1 will represent a golden delicious apple. And a 2 would represent a Granny Smith apple. Now we can create a banana class, banana.java. This is going to be very similar to our apple class. We would have an int age, and this is going to represent what stage the banana is at. So 0 would be underripe, 1 would be ripe, and then 2 would be overripe. So these two are very similar. Let's add a function or method that returns the color of the fruit. Public string get color. And what this will do is it'll return a color based on the type of apple it is. So if it's a 0, it's going to return red because it's a Macintosh. If it's a 1, it's going to return a yellow for Golden Delicious, and 2 is green for Granny Smith. All right, so we have the functionality for turning the color of the apple. And if you don't know the syntax, that's perfectly fine. All you need to know is that so this looks at type and matches it against these. So if type is 0, it returns red. If type is 1, it returns yellow. If type is 2, it returns green. And that corresponds to what we've defined up here. Now let's do the same for our banana. Our banana also has a color. So public string get color. All right, we have our banana implementation now. And so we say if age is 0, then we return green because it's underripe. If age is 1, then we return yellow because it is ripe. If age is 2, then we return brown because it's overripe. It's going bad. So these two, you'll notice they're very similar. Inside of our main class, we can have an apple a equals new apple. We have banana b new banana, and so on. And this all works fine until you want an apple or a banana. That is where you can't continue without inheritance. So let's say we want to make a fridge, and this fridge just contains an array of something. So we want it to contain a list of fruits or an array of fruits, but we don't have a fruit type we can go to. We have apple, but if we put apple in here, array can't hold any bananas, and if we put banana in here, our array can't hold any apples. So instead, what we can do, we can make another class, and we're going to call this fruit.java. This is a special class, and the reason why we're not going to keep this as public class, we're going to go public abstract class. So put abstract between public and class. And now, what this means, we can do apple A equals new apple. We can do banana B equals new banana, but we can't do fruit F equals new fruit. Or whatever that is. We can't do this. We can't instantiate it. we know what it would mean to make a new apple. We would just create an apple and we would have an apple. If we can create stuff out of thin air. We can also create a new banana out of thin air. But we can't create a fruit because we don't know what a fruit would look like. And that's the concept behind abstract classes. So we're not going to put anything inside this class right now, but we will in a few minutes. But how do we define apple and banana as fruits? Because now we have this type we can use. Well, if we put apple, we can put extends fruit here. And we can also do the same with banana. So extends means that any variable that has a type of fruit can now be assigned to that. So apple extends fruit, meaning that if we have our fruit variable, we can make an apple and it would work. And because banana also does the same, we can put banana instead. And this is good because both apple and banana are assignable to fruit. And now we have a type for our fridge. We can have a fruit array, and this will contain all our fruits, and it can either be they can either be apples or bananas. First exercise I want you to do is create 3 classes. One are normal classes, and the other is an abstract class. The normal classes should extend from the abstract class. You should make it so that you're able to assign your 2 new classes to anything that extends the abstract class. But we can't do much with it. If we have a method, let's just say we want to do something useful. If we do like fruits 0, there is nothing special that happens. There's nothing here. We don't have anything special that a fruit can do. But if we look back at our apple and banana class, we can notice they both have a getColor method. And we can say every fruit has a color, so why not make it so that anything that is a fruit, we can get its color. I'm going to put a method called getColor inside of fruit. And what this is going to do is it's going to return green. But not all fruits are green. So our getColor method will not work for all fruits, and that's okay. And the reason why is because this method is overridable. If you have a fruit, any methods, or if you have a class that extends another class, any methods inside of the class it's extending from, you can override. So we have our getColor, which is the exact same as fruit's getColor. We can override it by simply typing an @ symbol and then override right before the function. And what this does is whenever we call apple.getColor, it's going to return Apple's implementation of getColor. But if we have a fruit f equals new apple, now if we call f.getColor, instead of by default returning green, now it's going to go into Apple's implementation of getColor. We can also do the same with banana at override. And now we can test this by simply printing it out. And now we can see that we have a new apple, and by default, the type is going to be 0. And once we call getColor, it's going to run Apple's getColor, and it returns red. Perfect. The next exercise I want you to do is to create a method on your abstract class, and then have your 2 extending classes override that function and give it new functionality. And then I want you to print out the results. So my results would be, should be red and green, because we have an apple that's instantiated to 0, for type, which is a Macintosh, which is red, and our banana is 0, which is underripe, which is green. So if you call your new method, you should get different results for each of your classes, depending on the overriding implementation. And that is a brief explanation of inheritance in Java.